got these 8 units. So were they, when you bought them, were they all empty? Were they full? Tell us a little bit about the building. You said they need a rehab. What'd you plan for versus kind of what you end up doing? Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so for the 3 unit with an illegal 4, we offered a lot of the tenants, we needed them to move out. It was all full. So we offered the tenants cash for keys if they didn't want to move out earlier. And that worked out. I think we offered $700 was the max that we had to offer for cash for keys because we wanted them to get rented out in the summer. Remember, I bought it in the winter. And that didn't like our schedule went way past summer for one of our properties. But
push back on the cash for keys, like $700. They said, yeah, we'll take it. Like, I mean, that's way too easy.
No, that's what's crazy is like some people said, yeah, we'll take it. I think I started at 500, and then some people said, no way, we're not moving. And I just made plans to let them stay. And then they came back asking for more when they realized, oh, like I guess they found other units, and then they're searching that actually was a better price. Something like that. So it wasn't that wasn't too hard, surprisingly. They were good tenants, so it wasn't hard to push them out because they were paying and everything. So yeah. Answer your question.
So the rehab, so the first 4 flat there with the non-conforming legal unit, what you had to underwrite it going into it with a rehab budget? Like how much were you planning on doing with that?
That's a good question. So this was our first ever rehab. Planned on $30,000 for the modernization of all the units. And one of the units we even gutted. And that was, we had to pull in some family friends to help us with that one. That one was a tight one. But it made us a lot more confident going into the second property with the rehab. We had already had all our contractors set up. We had all our our relationships. So it was a lot. So we have kind of like a standard look that we have everything go through. And
so $30,000 is not a lot. Like I know. I mean, you had to have a lot of family and friends and your own kind of sweat equity in there. It was my job to figure out how to renovate the bathrooms, and then my partner's job to do the kitchens, and he did it with his stepdad. So a lot of help. He just come over to our house and then help us. He lives in Ohio. So he drove over here. So that was really helpful. What did you learn about that experience? Like, I think when you're in there trying to figure out how to do things on listen, that's shoestring. like what did you learn about the rehab business, I guess, and going through that?
Well, I will say before we bought the properties, I hired two contractors to come take a look at it. So they did a walkthrough, and I would write down everything they were saying that would need to get that, the price for everything. And I would send it to them afterwards, ask them if they would change anything on it. So I got that rehab budget from them actually. And I'm not doing crazy stuff. It's just replacing, I'm not replacing the the cabinets. I'm just, doing a new granite, stuff like that, new flooring, which my partner put a lot of sweat equity into. So a huge learning process, and we got mad at each other quite often during that process. Yeah, it was not a fun summer for me. I'll say that.
So the whole time those 4 units were empty then, as you're trying to do this work on that first building?
What was that?
All 4 units were empty while you're doing this. So were you doing all the units at one time?
Yeah, so 3 of the units I was doing at one time for this first building, and one of the tenants stayed was in the bottom unit. We had them keep paying, so that helped out with our holding costs. It helped out.